Hi, Kobus. Thank you for talking with us. Well, it was a very big night for you last night. You won Restaurant of the Year and also off-mark destination at the first edition of the World Restaurant Awards. So first of all, tell us about your restaurant, what you do, and what makes it so special for at least the people who voted for it.
So Wolfgat is a 20-seater restaurant. It's housed in an old fisherman's cottage. It's about 130 years old, right on the beach. We're actually situated on top of a historic cave called Wolfgat, after which the restaurant is named. And Wolfgat means wolf den, and wolf in that context actually referring to strandwolf, which is a brown hyena that used to roam the beaches there and would have possibly used a cave like that for shelter. Also there was some early human occupation and evidence found of that with an archaeological survey of the cave, and that's sort of part of the history of early civilization on that coastline that we find really inspiring. So it was quite a serendipitous thing for us to find that building, to find out about the history, and it just made sense for us to honor it by naming the restaurant Wolfgat.
Well, what makes you proud about your restaurant the most?
I think the fact that we showcase local indigenous ingredients, some things that people have forgotten about, and just being really representative of a very special part of the Fynbos kingdom, which is our indigenous flora, one of the most species diverse in the world. And even where we are, it's a more specialized version of that plant kingdom because we are in a very harsh coastal setting, and those plants have adapted expertly to those conditions. And that's the landscape that inspires us, and the plants that we actually pick and use and serve in our dishes.
And then you come here to Paris, which is, not a remote place, and where the restaurants have a different business model, let's say. So what kind of inspiration do you still take from this environment, and what do you think are gonna take to your place after this experience?
I am the biggest restaurant groupie you can find. I love following on social media to see what's happening internationally with all these great restaurants, with forward-thinking chefs, and it's a huge honor for me to be considered in a list like that, or at least last night being in a room with such amazingly creative people. So there's always inspiration that we take from travels, but I think it needs to assimilate a little bit. It's not always something direct that influences me, but maybe in a few weeks I'll remember one of the dishes I tasted today, which was really amazing, the salsa fi tagliatelle with like a bit of tonka bean, and just like very nice flavors happening in your mouth, and it's always inspirational.
And while South Africa is famous for wine, what kind of offer do you have for wine at your restaurant? What kind of, is it accessible? Because when we think of it, we imagine it to be a remote location. How accessible is the wine that people would love to drink at your place? How, from a business point of view, how does it work for you?
So for us, we only stick to serving wine from our region, which for us makes sense because it's the same philosophy as we follow with the food. And we are very lucky to have the Swartland as our closest wine region, about an hour away from the restaurant, directly due east, so it's the adjacent interior of the West Coast. And that's where all the good things are happening at the moment, with young winemakers breaking with tradition, coming up with their own styles, not emulating what's happening in Europe, and making beautiful wines from biodynamic vineyards, organic practices, and natural approach, minimal intervention. So we've got some really, really cool wines to play with on the wine list. Even South African guests come there and they look at the wine list and they're like, we don't know any of these wines. So we're able to showcase like really special wines from small independent producers that just naturally go great with our style of food as well. So that's pretty much our drinks offering.
And how do you book a table at Wolfgat?
So we're a very small team. We don't have any dedicated admin staff, so we've actually automated bookings through our website. So yeah, it's really easy. There's a little calendar that shows availability. It's only open for 3 months at a time, so you can book 3 months into the future and fill in your details. We take full payment up front, so it's a bit like booking a theatre seat, you know. Book your ticket and we prepare for you.
And finally, you know, if someone were to come to your restaurant, maybe they would like to build a trip around it. What do you suggest to do?
Yeah, it's the perfect weekend getaway. Paternoster is a beautiful little village with panoramic views of like really intensely blue sea, beautiful beaches, very nice accommodation. There's a little nature reserve close by with one of the only lighthouses on the South African coast that's still manned by an actual person, and beautiful nature. So yeah, there's quite a lot to do, and there's also very little to do. People often ask me like, what do you do in Paternoster? But apart from eating out, it's just being in nature and experiencing, you know, where you are. It's a really special part of the world.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.